We saw Bleed for this.
Yes.
Holy
crap.
Holy shit, was that movie amazing.
So, Vinny Pazienza, I've told you about this before. Vinny Pazienza is one of my favorite boxers of all time.
Yes.
I loved his attitude. I loved his swagger. I liked that he was a little guy that fought like a big guy. And I know that's why a lot of people didn't like him as a fighter. Because he was not a boxer. He was a fighter.
Right.
But yeah, so going in, like, I know this story. I'm deeply familiar with the outside view of this story. The stuff you get to see in the media when stuff like this happens. This was definitely a more in-depth look at his life. I mean, a very short span of his life, but
right.
A very
good
deep
chapter.
Look. Yeah.
Like, for sure. I knew nothing really about this.
Yeah.
So I went in not knowing what's going to happen.
You went in knowing your new man crush, Miles Teller, was in the movie.
I just know Miles Teller was in this.
Right. And when I saw the trailer, I was like, fucking Miles Teller. God damn it, all right.
And I heard him talk about this on Happy Sad Confused podcast. And he talked about it with so much passion in it. And I knew I had to see it.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I finally went to go see it. And oh my God, this movie is amazing.
Yes.
I don't understand how it's not getting recognition for how good this movie is. I do have problems with it.
Oh yeah. Oh, I do too. I do too.
But they're mostly technical.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. But the story of it and about Vinny
Pazienza.
Yes, I can't say that.
It's okay. Gotcha. The Tasmanian Devil. The Paz
yes. Man. Like, we loved Creed. And
yep. And I'd go back even before that. I love the entire Rocky franchise, even when it gets cartoony towards the end.
Right, and I haven't really seen them.
Okay.
But I really enjoyed Creed. And Creed has pushed me and kind of inspired me. Fuck, yeah, I gotta start working out. I gotta start doing shit, man.
Yeah.
And then I did for a while, then I kind of sagged off.
Yeah. You hit that hump. You hit that wall. You couldn't break it down.
This movie, though, holy fuck! Knowing that this is a true story, knowing that what this guy went through and how persistent and juggernaut, unstoppable he is.
Yeah.
No matter what, he persevered everything. He's I don't care. This is what I am. I gotta do this. I'm gonna do it. And his cockiness, his arrogance.
Yep.
You want to hate the guy, but then you gotta respect the guy for knowing what he wants to do and going after what he wants in life. He fucking does the hustle that everyone always talks about.
Yep. And I said, wouldn't you know it, man? Hard work takes fucking hard work.
Yeah. And God, I haven't been this inspired by a movie in a while.
That's amazing, dude.
I think if he can do this, if he can go through this, I gotta get my shit together. You know?
He had a broken freaking neck, Rick.
He had a broken neck, and he started off with taking up the weights and just using the bar.
And that bar, if it
and the bar is pretty heavy. I could barely lift
they're 40. I mean, most of those are about 45 pounds.
Yeah, about 45 pounds. So it's holy shit, It's fuck, I gotta do something about myself. It makes me feel so lazy. You'll feel lazy as fuck when you watch this movie.
What am I doing sitting here watching this movie? I should be out running a marathon.
Exactly.
I have no reason to not do it.
Oh my God. But yeah, I absolutely love this movie. I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah.
The part when they show him boxing again, fuck, man.
Yeah.
I couldn't watch it. That's how involved I was with this movie, or how connected I was. I'm not a violent person. I don't like violence. I don't like watching violence. I don't like Jackass when they do stupid shit like that. Right. I know Bryce does, and that's fine. That's cool. Whatever.
I'm into that stuff too, but I hear you.
I can't see people hurt themselves like that. Yeah. It's come on, man. Only do that if you have to. But
you're talking to a guy who willingly threw himself on the floor for 4.5 years.
Exactly. And even watching you in the ring, fuck, you're selling it, because I'm starting to think he's hurt. I think he's hurt.
Yeah.
So that actually was kind of hard to watch you in that ring too, but that movie's so good. Mm-hmm. I got lots of love for that movie. I want to look up this guy some more. Go. You're
okay. Well, you did a great
Sorry,
job. No. That's great. You did a great job of covering the positives. I want to talk about the one negative that was just fucking eating at me the entire movie. The use of licensed music in this movie was fucking awesome. The music of the era, the type of music, all of that stuff was really well done. What was not well done was the score.
I could agree with you.
Oh my god. Like I was just talking about it with Ryan, and as you guys just heard, I hate when movies do this, when they take their score and pound you over the head with it of here's how you're supposed to feel right now. You're supposed to feel lost and confused.
There was
you're
one
supposed
scene,
to
yeah,
feel
you're right.
No, stop it.
Yeah.
Let the performance tell me how I'm supposed to feel. Let me make that decision. Don't shove it down my throat. So my only problem was and there were these long, obnoxious, sustained notes, and it was just with very little around it, and it was fuck, man, just stop with that. I'm not saying give me dead silence, but how about showing me the sounds of the world? It would be so much more impactful on that ride home instead of hearing that really loud screech note and the little bit of string behind it, if you would have just played the sound of the world, the sounds of the cars passing by, the sound of the train passing by, the sound of them going under the bridge. If you just gave me the sounds of the world, I would feel just as lost as you tried to force me to feel with your score.
I can see what they're trying to do with because it is about this person, it's about his movie. I'm not real. I mean, I'm kind of sort of not defending the score thing, but there were times where they did force it down, and 2 times maybe 3 times I noticed where they was really forced. But there were other times where I think they could have done something different, with Creed. I'm about 2 boxing movies, but still whatever. The way, because the director was fucking amazing for Creed, but the way how they walk down the hallway, and the way you're watching it, or the way it was his point of view, but I think they could the elements, the audience, they should have I think they could have used more sound. They could have used the sound more interesting.
They could have used better sound and not I'm not saying a less is more.
That high pitched noise, we've seen that before. Do something different with it rather than that. Rather have him get hit, right, and then boom, you get a wide shot. You're in the audience watching him, or something.
That scene, that boxing scene, when the sound completely drops out and all you hear is the contact of the gloves, that.
That definitely is more impactful.
Poof, man.
Yeah.
They totally take out the audio from the crowd. Everything is gone, and all you hear is
that part.
Vinny Pazienza getting punched in the fucking face by Roberto Duran.
Yeah. Go on. Sorry.
No, it's fun. It's great. So that was my only negative with the movie.
Really? That was the only negative? Just the sound?
Yeah.
You saying you didn't notice anything else? I did?
I mean, nothing too crazy. I mean, I'm excited to hear what you're going to bring up. But again, this is a story I'm super invested in because it's one of my favorite boxes. So I'll allow for flubs and stuff because I want to see this story. I think Miles Teller's performance was awesome. I think he did a great job of capturing
fucking amazing
Vinny Pazienza's confidence, his arrogance, his swagger, his determination, and actually did a great job of picking up his voice and his accent and telling the story to where there are times where he's talking where you feel like you're watching a documentary and not watching a movie because Miles Teller is playing him so well.
Yeah.
And Aaron Eckhart fucking destroys in this movie.
Dude, it didn't take me till the end of the movie to recognize him. Yeah. I was surprised by that myself.
Again, and they had some good actors in here that were just Katie Seagal was a background character, as his mom.
Dude,
and she was so good.
Why does she look familiar? Who is that? Yeah. And then it wasn't, again, till the end, I realized it was Katie Seagal.
That's a mark of a good movie, man, when you take names and faces that you know and change them enough or kind of give them enough undertone to where you understand who they're supposed to be. But, oh my God, that's Katie Seagal. Doesn't jump out and make you like or dislike the character any less based on.
No, not even.
Because a lot of movies will do that. It's the Hollywood world. It's why they cast certain people to be the star. It's that dude or lady has got a lot of goodwill. People are gonna come see this movie purely based on her name or his name alone. And when you go see a movie, and it's oh yeah, there's fucking Aaron Eckhart, yay! No, that's not what happened. you walk in there and the character he's playing pulls you in, and then you're like, holy fuck, that's Aaron Eckhart. And it's one of those things where like we were talking about with Ryan and Edge of 17, subtlety and allowing the story to tell itself and not, try to make you feel a certain way is the best kind of storytelling. Allowing the audience to let their feelings take control and feel what they're going to feel without forcing you to feel a certain way is the best kind of storytelling. And aside, I know I just mentioned that the score like forces you down certain paths, but the performances and the way they wrote this story and the way they captured it on film, to me, allow you to turn your brain off and let your feelings take over.
Yeah. The gripes that I had with this.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Mostly the editing.
Uh-huh.
I felt like the beginning, maybe like the first 15, 20 minutes of the movie was definitely like trying to find its style. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of jarring with some of the cuts they had and some of the transitions, but like throughout the movie, like you see shaky cam, sometimes it stops completely, you can tell it's set on a tripod or whatever, and like the shaky cam just didn't work on some parts, especially at the beginning. Like I noticed when what part was it, where they was meeting up, I guess, in the like for training or something, like the shakiness was there. Maybe it was in places where I don't think it really needed to be.
I think, like, again, I think they
struggled.
But
I think they were trying to find what they were doing with it. But that kind of bothered me. Like I said, these are small things.
Yeah.
But
no, those are completely legitimate. I get that. I feel that too. They were having trouble figuring out what they wanted to be. Did they want to look like a documentary, or did they want to look like a movie, or what? Like, because there are stuff that are. There's parts of this movie that have really nice sweeping movements and are super polished and look like a film. Great. And then there are parts where, again, it's you kind of
held.
But I think it added to certain scenes, not the where
the scenes that it worked, but there were scenes that I noticed didn't work.
The one specifically you're talking about is where he's waiting for Kevin Rooney, and he pulls up in the Porsche, and then like the camera kind of follows him out of the car, but the camera's like 20 feet back, but it's still shaking like it's over his shoulder. I understand that, I get that, but when it works,
it worked.
Like when they're in the basement and training,
yes,
that works because you feel like you're in the room.
The use of video, VHS was great too,
and the use of original footage plus the use of post-production to make things look like it's old footage was
pretty spot on.
Yeah,
they probably actually used actual like old camcorders.
Yeah.
Just to make it look like it, of course. One of the other parts, which kind of, it didn't throw me off too much, but at the same time, it's like they could have went different ways with this. Like, I'm bringing Creed up again because it is a boxing movie, but like the way Creed handled being in the ring with them or in the fight, and like how they handled that whole big spectacle, did a superb job. This one did a great job too, but there were times where it was just focus was too close and you didn't see what was going on. And I know why they're going too close is because perhaps they're the stunt doubles, and you don't want to catch their faces, or just for the look of like how fast he's punching to make it look faster and quicker.
During that last fight, they did a lot of that in the first half of the fight, but in the second half of the fight, everything was clean and polished. And I think it was a storytelling mechanism and not necessarily a hiding things mechanism, because that first half of that final fight, like Vinny Pazienza, he's unsure of himself. He's unsure of himself, and he doesn't know if he can do it. So the way they chose to move the camera was in a very close-up, unsure. So you see his arms flailing and not throwing his punches as clean as he can. So I think it was a storytelling mechanism to show you, like, this dude's unsure of himself. So let's capture that all-encompassing rather than pan out and show the fight. I think it's
the rise, though, for like after that part, like the rise of that was fucking perfect.
And the parts I really enjoyed were like the thing that I like about the Rocky movies and Creed is when they shoot the boxing, they shoot it really well, but they also shoot it like you're in the ring with them. And a lot of the stuff they did in this movie, where yes, there's a lot of camera work inside the ring with the fighters, but when
it seems like they saved it for the end.
Right. When they show the fights, they show them like you were watching them on TV. Not like your
interactions with the family. Yeah. when they cut to the family watching it, that was like amazing. That was great.
Yeah.
Okay, Seagal. Now that I
In
know
the
that's
closet,
her.
in the closet with the candles, praying.
Yeah.
I'm glad you liked this movie so much, Rick. I knew I could get you to go because Miles Teller was in it. And I love watching.
If it probably wasn't for him, I probably would have watched it when it was out on DVD or something.
I mentioned this when we were leaving the theater, that my favorite part about movies like this, where I know exactly what's going to happen because I know the story, but
I had no clue.
So going with somebody who knows nothing about Vinny Pazienza or really doesn't know anything about boxing in general, going to watch this movie with you and watching your reactions to things.
Yeah. Fuck, man.
Yeah. Like when he wins the title in that first fight, and it's like, I was telling you, like, I remember watching that fight live on USA, or not, well, as live as it could be on USA Tuesday Night Fights, because me and my grandfather used to watch a lot of boxing together, and I love the little attention to details, like when they're showing the footage on the TV, the USA Tuesday Night Fights logo pops out and all that. I'm like, they're doing it so good, man. And Miles Teller he's a fucking beast of an actor, man.
Yeah, I gotta send you that podcast that he was on, because he talks about how much he like loved the script and how much he wanted to prepare for this, and like he threw his everything into it, which he does with all movies, and which he said too in the podcast, like with Whiplash, like he didn't really know how to drum, so he had to learn how to drum because he didn't want a double. He wanted to be there. Yeah, of course they used one, but for the harder parts, or more crazy parts. But
when you're doing one-on-one stuff and you want to show, again, the character at not its best that's always the best part of movies like this. Like, for someone who probably never boxed before in his life to go and get training so he can try and mimic Vinny Pazienza, and then when they have the parts where he's unsure of himself and on that comeback road, it looks real because it is real because he's learning essentially along with the character who's relearning. Which I think is awesome.
Yeah, the movie was so good.
Remember a few weeks ago when I kept making weird faces? I'm not making weird faces this week, but this is a week of ridiculous hand gesture movements.
I've noticed. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I get passionate about things.
Yeah. And when I end up cutting you off and talking for so much, how passionate I can get.
I love it, man.
And goddamn, this movie's so good. And it needs more recognition.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does. He deserves recognition for his performance. So does Aaron Eckhart. I technically, it's not the most polished thing out there, but I think a lot of that had to do with as storytelling mechanisms, and they made this for pretty cheap, if I'm not mistaken. So,
I'm not sure how.
That's another thing. I know it's easier to get equipment now, or rent it, or whatever, or for your production house to get access to it. But you got to keep in mind that when you make movies for less money, you have less time and less equipment.
Budget 16.
Okay.
6.
Yeah.
That's a 6. I
don't know. I can't see from
here.
But yeah, it's a really, really well made movie. Great story being told, and I think, like you said, I can't recommend it hard enough to people.
Yeah, estimated was $6 million.
You've got to see it. If you like boxing, you've got to see this movie.
Opening weekend. Oh man, really?
It did bad. It did like 3.5.
For gross is $4 million.
Yeah, it's not making money, and that's the problem.
That sucks
because it's so good. And again, I don't know. I think so. The first time I saw the trailer, it didn't mention it being based on a true story, and I was watching it, and I was like, "This reminds me of Vinny Pazienza. Are they doing a video?" And then like the third or fourth trailer, I was like, "Oh shit, they're doing the Vinny Pazienza movie. Awesome! I love Vinny Pazienza." But yeah, again, like I said, man, the dude was very divisive. People either loved him or they hated him because of the same reasons. People either loved him because he's a small guy fighting at 140 who fights like a heavyweight because he's a brawler and not a boxer. And in that lighter weight class, people that are celebrated are fantastic boxers and so technically proficient. He was an arrogant asshole. And all of the movements that he was doing in the ring and like the taunting, dude actually did. It wasn't for the movie. It's the way he fought. Like that line at the end. Oh, you want to see how I fight? And then he goes out there and just brawls basically. And that was him. He went out there and he fought the way he fought. and that's all there is to it. And you either loved him or you hated him, and a lot of people hated him.
I could see myself hating him, but because this is a bio picture, it's like, you know what he went through, you know his struggles, and like, fuck, man, respect.